New warning signs today for Republicans as they seek to retain control of the Senate this November. The Cook Political Report shifting its rating for two Senate races in Democrats' favor, moving both Texas and Iowa from lean Republican to toss-up. Now, keep in mind, President Donald Trump won both states by double digits less than 2 years ago. Cook also shifting its rating for both states' gubernatorial races, moving Texas from solid Republican to likely Republican, and Iowa from toss-up to lean Democrat. And speaking of Iowa, we are on the road and in Iowa today for day 5 of our Drive to Decision Day. Our own Jon Allen and crew are in the Hawkeye State for a second day as part of their 6-day, 5-state tour of 8 competitive House races. They've made their way to Des Moines, the state capital and home of the world-famous Iowa State Fair. There it is. You see it there. It's also part of Iowa's competitive 3rd congressional district, where Republican Congressman Zach Nunn is facing a challenge from State Senator Sarah Trone-Garriott. It's a district Donald Trump won by less than 5 percentage points in 2024, and which Nunn won by less than 4 percentage points. Jon Allen joins me now from Des Moines. So, Jon, great to see you. We're loving every day on the road with you. You're at the Iowa State Fair, and you just bumped into the newly sworn-in Attorney General, Todd Blanche. What did he tell you? Why was he there?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here, Kristen. Not just Attorney General Todd Blanche, but we also saw a butter cow. As you can see, there's corn dogs, et cetera. But Attorney General Blanche, a couple of things. Number one, he had no comment on the raid on Eric Swalwell's house, the former congressman. Not terribly surprising. They don't talk about active investigations. But here's what he had to say about his own political future. You running for president?
I'm not, no.
Are you sure?
No, I'm sure.
Never? Because usually people come here, they flip.
For sure.
And he may be the first person at his level to come flip pork at the Iowa State Fair and not be running for president, Kristen.
Well, Jon, what a valiant effort you got to have him answer that question. He gave you a pretty firm answer. I'm glad you are staying hydrated and well fed there. You've got your corn dog, of course. No better corn dog than at the Iowa State Fair. But look, we know a lot of 2028 hopefuls do go to the Iowa State Fair, Jon. What are people telling you? What are Iowans saying about who they're thinking about?
Yeah, for some of them, it's not something that's really crossed their radar so much. Some of them have early favorites. Some of the Democrats we talked to here, mentioned a few of the Democratic names. One of the ones that I heard today was Cory Booker, the senator from New Jersey. On the Republican side, we talked to a gentleman who said he was actually part of a kind of a straw poll, if you will, but actually a bean poll where he wrote the name of his favorite candidate on a bean and put it in a jar, and he was for Marco Rubio. So starting to think about it a little bit here in Iowa at the fair, which, by the way, people tell me is the best state fair in the state.
Well, it looks like everyone's just having a blast based on all the video that you guys got. You were in Davenport yesterday, Jon. What did folks there tell you about the state of that House race in Davenport?
Yeah, so it's really interesting, Kristen. You mentioned the Cook Political Report moving toward Democrats in the Senate race and the gubernatorial race, and we definitely heard some things from Davenport voters there in the 1st District of Iowa earlier in the day yesterday. Definitely heard from them that they feel like there's some movement, both those who are for that movement, who are in favor of Democrats, and also some of the Republicans who are going to vote Republican think things are moving in the Democrats' favor. We'll have to see how that shakes out on Election Day. But last night we talked to a couple of Trump supporters, and they said they're likely to vote Republican in the congressional race for Congresswoman Mariannette Miller Meeks. And here's why they're going to vote Republican.
I think the socialists are winning and they're kind of taking over. And
they're getting rid of us old people, the old people in there, and bringing in the younger ones, and they're going to take over. And you're going to have a king. They don't want a king, but they're going to have a king.
And that's David and Dorothy Quakenbush, and the reason that they're afraid of Democrats and why they're sure they're going to vote Republican in November.
Very quickly, Jon, I know a lot of folks usually get a T-shirt on the road, but one of the crew members got something much more interesting. Tell us about it quick.
Marshall Crook got himself a tattoo of the moth from Silence of the Lambs We got some great footage of that. Hope folks are able to check that out on social media. So we acquired a tattoo. I got a shave. We got a new tire on this trip. And of course, I got this corn dog. I promised my friend who told me once, don't eat the corn dog, that I would not actually eat it on television. So I've taken a bite, and I'll eat the rest of it when we're done.
Well, bring some home for us. It sure does look good. Jon Allen, great stuff. As always, can't wait to see you tomorrow from Nebraska. Thanks, John.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.